Well, good morning, folks. Poogie Izzy 7 here, and I'm about to bring something back to the table. I think y'all have heard of it before. Your parents played it. I'm pretty sure most of us has played it in one form or the other. A truly underrated classic, but yet a gem in most of our parents' eyes. This is Miss Pac-Man, and truly, I don't know why, but I have a taste for the old school. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the pack booster on. We're going to have it easy. Arcade level and starting one. Now you're probably thinking, why am I doing this? Oh, just because. Just because I'm taking a break from a little bit of everything before I take on just before I take on going to town with Sailor Moon. I do mean that in the most sexual of ways possible. No, not really. No, no, truly, truly. Don't ask, don't tell. No, really. This is a good game to clear your thoughts, and she has her mouth open wide. Why? Oh, you know why they call her Pac-Man. Why the Mister call her the Mrs. Beholds. Well, there's not much to say except that it's just a quickie. And plus, it's always good to go back to the roots every so often. So this is part of my roots here because my parents let me share this. Long before I was even born, this is what my parents played. My parents played this game, and my dad, God, God bless the man. He was the man. He was the master of Pac-Man. He was a Pac-Man. My mom, she's she's the mistress of Pac-Man. I know that sounds wrong, but this was this was the first game that got me into video games to begin with. Because I mentioned that my mom was the first person who actually ever beaten me in a video game. And this is the game that basically just started me off the path of playing video games to begin with. So really, Pac-Man is part of my roots. Just like in some ways, Pac-Man is equivalent to Super Mario Brothers. I can never disown my pack roots. And I could never disown that. Because there's always success and failure in Pac Man. Always. Always success and failure in Pac Man. So with that, I just like playing Pac Man. Just because it's Pac Man. That's a problem with most gamers today. They think they're so hardcore, but yet. When was the last time you ever played Pac Man? Or just Super Mario Brothers? Not a hack. Not a remake. But the original Super Mario Brothers. I ask you, you know, there's not that many there's not that many people who will say, "Oh, yeah, I remember Pac-Man." I'm one of those people who can proudly say, "Yeah, I remember Pac-Man. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play Pac-Man." Oh yeah, I grew up with the classics, folks. I grew up with Pac-Man, Galaga, and Dig Dug, as well as Super Mario Brothers. And I can pretty much say those games are what started me off to those games are what started me off into the path of the gamer. So you know what? I'm glad my parents had some sort of fun when they did, long before I was even born. It shows what kind of character I'm going to have later on when I have children. And so they're going to say, "Daddy, why are you playing Pac-Man? It's such an old game." And I say, "Well, let me tell you, your grandparents played this game. Can she still play it?" I said, "Yeah. Grandma? Yeah, she can still play it." So you want to know something else? It was your grandma who beat me, but taught me how to play the game. Don't you just love these little cartoons? Just because. It's just classic. But yeah, this is an underrated classic. You know why? Because gamers these days, they always think, "Oh, it's the graphics." I'm here to prove a point. The graphics don't always sell, you know? It's like sex. It never sells. It hardly sells. And I just don't see the point of it. So, that was Miss Pac-Man. I pretty much enjoy the game. Really, it's fun. I like it. Takes me back. It takes me back to a time in my life in which I was just knee high to nothing. That's right, I was knee high to nothing. But like I said, when I have kids one of these days, I'm looking back on my old YouTube site. They're gonna ask me, Daddy? So yeah. Why do you like playing video games? So I'll tell you why. Keeps me young. That's why. So if you keep playing video games like this, it'll keep you young. Plus, I don't want to be an old fogey and say, "Oh, you damn kid! What the fuck are you doing? Get out of here!" I don't want to be like that. I want to be the kind of guy that my kids can be proud of and saying, "My daddy's a geek." I say, "Yeah, remember that. Your daddy's a geek." And it's because I'm a geek is the reason why money is coming in. I'm the way I am, and most people like the way I am. That I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I make an impact. I can say it with pride and everything else. So with that, that's my purpose in life. That's what I feel should be my purpose in life. It should be about, the fact that I'm just this person. It's just that one reason why I just like doing what I like doing. Just playing video games. I found my purpose in life. Second to writing, yeah, this is my purpose in life. So, will the legend of Pookie as E7 be passed on to future generations? I wouldn't know. Because there can only be one me. And there can only be one underdog of the underrated. So, as long as I have breath in my body, and chases about, therefore I will always be around. So it's cool. It's all good. It's cool. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. So my future plans. Let's see. After my book, I'm probably gonna have somebody to represent me, of course. And naturally, while they have everything dealt with, somebody to deal with the money and everything else. And mind you, it will be somebody I trust. And believe me when I say this, but I will indefinitely have a group straight off from YouTube of nothing but my friends and close companions with me that I've known for quite a while. And, I want them to join me in my endeavors just because, you know, video games bond people together. So, hey, I want to share. I want to share my love of video games to the world, anybody, like anybody else who has been on YouTube, and you know, whether I'm a Let's Player or whatever, whether I'm a Let's Player or a game reviewer, that is my purpose in life. And with that, my game's not over, but I will stop at this last level. So, the legend of Pookie Izzy 7, the underdog of the underrated, will continue to live on for generations at a time. So, with that, this has been Miss Pac Man, and this has been my Let's Play and perspective, and I am out.